Greetings and salutations, all you sexy bastards out there. Welcome back to the channel, all of that good stuff. Brother Akiharho here is ready to give you another splendiferous, glorious WWE review. This time for Monday Night Raw, baby. Coming to you live from Portland, Oregon. Alright, alright. What's new for WWE? How do you think it started off? Per typical. We've got a new recap guy. Actually, it's a little bit different. We got a new recap dude coming in here. Instead of the dramatic, it was like, coming to you soon. Last week on Monday Night Raw. It was like, previously on Monday Night Raw. He wasn't as dramatic as the normal dude, but definitely I noticed that. So his voice sounded less serious, you know what I'm saying? It was now a previously on Monday Night Raw. It's like they kind of wanted you to feel like it was a TV show or a sitcom or something along those lines, you know what I'm saying? But Kurt Angle is first out to do his usual. You know, he comes out there looking goofy as ever, like he's about to come out with the milk truck, start spraying milk on everybody. You know, he comes up to start to promote the Shield, which you knew he was going to do, because after all the recapping and everything, and of course it's the go home episode, so you know you're gonna have the Shield come out in full effect. And speaking of, they interrupt him. Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta. You know what I'm saying? Shield still to Roman Reigns' music, not to the original one. And you can tell the difference between there was a lot of people like, oh man, this is Roman Reigns, it's the original. The Roman Reigns one, the instrumentals and all the kickdown and all that stuff is muted. On the actual original Shield where it came in, Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta Shield, the music and all the beats and everything in the back was really kicked up. And Romans is just like dun 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 dun. Romans is just a toned down version of it without all the extra in there. So I definitely noticed a difference with that, you know what I'm saying? But they look good, you know. They came out from their usual style, you know, through the crowd and all of that. They made their way down, usual Shield fashion, which this time around it seems like Roman is leading in the Shield. So you got Roman in the middle doing the fist, and to like the left, you know, Dean Ambrose to the right, Seth Rollins, or depending on wherever you're at. But back in the day, you notice it was always Dean in the middle doing the fist, and then you had Roman on the right and Seth on the left, you know what I'm saying, depending on which way you're looking at it. So I definitely noticed that Roman seems to be the main centerpiece, which is probably why a lot of people are calling this Shield Roman and Friends, or Roman and Company. So yeah, take it for what you got. So Seth comes out there, he runs his mouth, you know, per usual Seth Rollins. I didn't expect anything new from him. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns is, actually before that, Roman Reigns starts running his mouth into such a way, he pretty much is bad-mouthing Kurt Angle, talking about, when we come through in the Shield, this is our yard, and you get out of the ring. I'm like, bro, you really gonna take that tough attitude with the general manager of Monday Night Raw? So you just gonna push up on Kurt Angle like that? You're just gonna talk to him any old way? Like, come on. You know you can't talk to Kurt Angle that way. You know that, right? So anyway, so Seth runs his mouth per usual. Mr. May 28, Seth Rollins is doing his thing. I like Seth more so in this role than the obvious like good guy. You know, he's like, is everybody out here in Idaho ready to have some fun tonight? Yeah. Seth is like the cheesiest good dude ever. Like you just should not be that way, Seth Rollins. So, and then Dean. Oh man, Dean back to his usual self, looking like you see that spark in his eye, that thing that Stone Cold was talking about on his podcast. He was saying that was missing from Dean, that certain Zinishikwa was missing from him. You know, that little piece. But when he was in there, he put that vest on, that magic came back, that Moxley magic came back. You know what I'm saying? Like you really saw pieces of this guy wanting to come out, the craziness. And like, maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself, you know, saying we could take on 4, 5, 6 different guys, you know. But if I could go back and change it, I'd say it again. I'm like, oh snap, okay, we got a Dean here, you know. So about a minute after that, we got Braun coming out there with Cesaro, Sheamus, you know, and they got the crew. And then, you know, of course, they're about to come on down there. And Kurt Angle's like, no, you're not going to mess up my show. So basically he says to Cesaro and Sheamus, if you come down there and you touch them, right, there won't be no tag team match. You know what I'm saying? You'll lose your title opportunity, which makes sense. Obviously, they want their chance to get the titles. They're not going to mess that up. But then he said to Braun, he was like, if you go down there and you and Roman fight, you will lose out on your match tonight for the steel cage. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody, and then he made that the match, and nobody can interfere. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and we're gonna get into that, you know, later on. Why? What are the ramifications? So if Braun and Roman touch each other anytime before the night, they won't get a steel cage match, which there's nothing in it. It's not like, well, if either dude wins, they get a shot at the title or anything like that. It's just a regular steel cage match. So basically, if they touch each other, they don't get to damn near kill themselves in a steel cage match. See what I'm saying? So that much right there, I didn't understand why he was trying to bribe him with that, but you know what I'm saying? Anyway, order was restored to the supposed freaking chaos that was going on there. Anyway, after that segment, now moving on. So we had Elias come back. Brother Elias, El Vagabundo, is in the ring with the Good Brothers. And I was digging that. Carl on the right and Good Brother Gallows on the left. And I was okay. I was like, all right, the last time they did something like this, okay. They didn't really get a chance to say anything, and it was really sad. It was Cesaro and Sheamus was in the ring with those guys, with Elias, and they were gonna do something, and then they kind of interrupted him. So I was like, all right, let's see where they go with this. It's Gallows and Andrews are really, really funny. Watch that that KFC, what's that? Oh, Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Check that out. It's really, really, really freaking good. It's awesome, yeah, man. You'll get a kick out of it. Check it out. So they all needed to tune up. So Gallows starts going out there, nerd. Oh man, just the way they were tuning up. And Andrews, he starts turning up, whatever he was doing there, you know, just making all kinds of weird noises with his voice. And then they proceeded to do their very own rendition of the Honky Tonk Man. So yeah, that's what they proceeded to do, which actually wasn't that bad. And Elias, whether he's getting better on the guitar or he's always been that good and they're just telling him to play more licks on the guitar, I mean, he actually sounds pretty damn good. So I'll give Elias that, you know, and I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here. And then they went to, he was like, this might be the best song here that I've done, so please listen to these lyrics extremely carefully. No, I mean, listen to them. Let them soak inside of you. And I'm just digging where this dude is going. I'm like, oh, yes. Okay. I'm like, all right. And they're going against Apollo Crews, Jason Jordan, and Titus O'Neil. Of course, Team Bland. And I've said it, and I'll say it again every week. You got these athletes, they're premier athletes. They're really, really good. Apollo Crews is amazing. Jason Jordan is amazing. I think they would be, they would make great heels. I think they would make great bad guys, you know, but the WWE can't have black bad guys in there. I'm not really sure what the caveat is or whatnot, but I'll definitely be talking about that. Where I went through the roster, and I'll just say this, and then I'll keep it moving. But I went through the roster, 15 black athletes in the WWE from NXT to SmackDown to WWE RAW. Okay, and there are 5 divas, or I'm sorry, my apologies. I don't mean divas. The women. Excuse me, women wrestlers, you know, or women's entertainers as they call them, right? And it seems like with the women, they're kind of in between, in the gray area to where they want to be. You know, you've got your clear cuts like Naomi. I'm not really sure what Ember Moon is. Alicia Fox, she could be considered good on a certain day. She could be considered bad on a certain day. I'm not really sure. Same thing with Sasha Banks. She could be a great heel, but as of right now, she's some kind of like a tweenerness. You know what I'm saying? But so you see what I'm saying with them? It's a lot more different. But as far as all of the black dudes, all 15 of them are all bad guys, and I went through each one of them, and I did the character. You know what they do? They all either sing, some of them singing, dancing, or extreme smiling and just waving, and they're all just happy to be here. So I thought to myself, 100% of the black roster, and 100% of them, minus Velveteen Dream. But Velveteen Dream is a tricky one. You know what I'm saying? He smiles. He's rubbing on himself. He'll sing. He's doing some kind of gyrating dancing, you know, but he's not all like friendly about it. He's smiling in like a seductive way. Like all the other guys are just like, I'm just happy to be here. Like, yay, I can't stop cheesing. Velveteen Dream is smiling in like some kind of like a gold dust way. So Velveteen is a little bit tricky. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have him doing heel stuff. You know, so he gropes on his stuff. So am I supposed to believe that just because you're gay, you're a bad guy? See, that's what, or you're flamboyant like that, you're a bad guy. See, that's why I'm like, I'm not sure where he's going. So that's why I was like, out of the 15, one of them I put a little star next to, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure how to really categorize the Velveteen Dream. He's in a category all by himself. You know what I'm saying? So moving on past that, like I said, WWE, 100% of your athletes, and they all are smiling or singing or dancing or just happy to be here. That's crazy. We don't have a single bad black guy here in the company. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? Okay, moving on then. So Renee backstage with Emma, and I love me some Australian Emma. She's looking good, you know, with her new theme song every week. You know, she's doing the whole hashtag and this, hashtag and that. You know, she's talking about why does everybody care about Oscar? What has she done here? I mean, other than, you know, hold the belt for over, 400 something days, you know what I'm saying, and be undefeated and all of that, but, you know, what has Oscar done, you know what I'm saying? And Alexa's like, I agree, what has Oscar done, you know, like, how about we put our differences aside, and we going out there, and we teach Mickie James, her old ass, and whoever partner she chooses, like, she'll be able to choose one, we'll teach her a lesson, and that's pretty much what they're going to do. It's going to be Alexa Bliss and Emma versus Mickie James and a mysterious partner of her choosing. Who knows, right? You know what I'm saying? So up next, we got a Cruiserweight 205 recap, you know, which isn't that bad. You know, I like the 205 show. I encourage everybody to check it out. Please do, just because the WWE likes to gloss over these guys and not really want to give them segments and all of that stuff does not mean that they're not worth watching, that you shouldn't check them out. You know what I'm saying? So Cedric Alexander, phenomenal. This is one of them, and they even talk about Cedric needs a mean streak. Cedric is smiling, he's happy, he's waving, he's kissing babies, you know, just a typical bland white meat baby face, you know, as Steve Austin would say, typical white meat baby face. You know, nothing extensive about him. Even take a look at somebody like Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher was the most whitest, meatest, baby faces dude out there, you know what I'm saying? Even he got to experience something different. Sami Zayn, another dude through his whole career, even when he was doing El Generico and all of that, was never a bad dude, right? Even when Kevin Owens was booking him and all of that stuff, never a bad dude, right? Look at him now, he's a bad dude. See what I'm saying? Like, so you go through and look at all this crop of people, and you're like, Cedric Alexander, you probably could stand to benefit from a character refresher, so to speak. You know, kind of like what everybody's begging for from Roman Reigns, you know? So then after that, of course, Cedric Alexander goes over on Jack Gallagher, you know, duh, you know. But after that, Miz and company, Curtis, they come on out there and they're, you know, in the ring. Curtis is just getting the pop like crazy, man. Like, they're going crazy for Curtis Axel, and I've said it before. Curtis and Bo were shining. They were like how Mizdow was, Damian Sandow was in when he was in this role, you know, and Alex Riley when he was in this role. Miz has a really good job of, like, if you get put with him, I've noticed that he does have a way of helping to elevate the talent that is placed alongside of him. So I can definitely say that Curtis Axel is getting elevated. Bo Dallas, should he come back, you know, he's getting elevated. He's looking good, you know. Curtis has got the hair parted all over. He's looking like 1950 style, like he could be married to Barbara Billingsley or June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver, you know. So I'm like, okay, I can dig that, you know. So Miz is freaking amazing here. Miz is on his way to being a freaking Hall of Famer, like just a microphone masterpiece here, you know, and he's getting better in the ring. Of course, he ain't Daniel Bryan in the ring. You could try to do them yes kicks or Miz kicks all you want, but you ain't no Daniel Bryan. But you don't need to be Daniel Bryan because you're the Miz. And once the Miz touches that microphone, he is up there with the Rocks and John Cena's and CM Punk's. You know what I'm saying? He is up there with the Stone Colds and all of that. So and the Chris Jericho's too. You know what I'm saying? So I'll definitely give Miz that, man. He is freaking amazing. Cesaro and Sheamus come out, and Cesaro's just looking busted, man. Like he look like he got some extra mouthpiece up in there because his cheeks and everything is protruding out. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but they talk about how they're, you know, they're friends and family, not that they're co-workers, not that they're just doing this just to do this, you know what I'm saying? And so Kurt Angle comes on out, you know what I'm saying? Basically, this segment around Kurt Angle has a pair of huevos, you know what I'm saying? He's got balls now, so he's over here, you don't do this, and you don't tell me what to do, and this is my show, and I'm all this and that. And I'm like, why wasn't you talking to Roman Reigns when he was all up in your face telling you basically, this is my ring, my yard, get the hell out or it's going to be problems. And then Seth had to step in and go, easy, big guy, come on, tone it down, tone it down. And Kurt was looking all terrified. But now all of a sudden, Kurt's got fucking huevos for everybody else. But not for Roman Reigns, but for everybody else. See what I'm saying? This is the kind of things that the people pick up on. And they're like, well, why does Roman Reigns get disrespect and intimidate the authority into such a way, and they don't care? Yet The Miz is barely intimidating the authority, and Kurt Angle's jumping down his throat. Well, that doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So Miz, once again, he tries to do the same thing he did last week. He was like, man, I want a fifth person. You know, there goes Dean again running his mouth. You need the integrity. And then Kurt is like, don't pull that shit, man. You can't do that again. And he's like, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He basically makes it so if Braun don't win his match, Braun is out, and it's just going to be a regular 3-on-3 with The Miz, Sheamus and Cesaro versus the New Shield, or a.k.a. Roman and Friends, a.k.a. Roman and Company. You know what I'm saying? So, the cage match, that's the stipulation. Roman wins, they out. If Roman loses, 2 extra dudes is in. So, yeah. Up next, we got Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. And I had no problem with Alicia Fox and Sasha. I mean, because they really are good talent. And we want the women's revolution, right? We're enjoying that. So that means that we actually have to use the women that are available. And Alicia Fox, you can say this or that. Even on a promo on this, I'm like, okay, they actually have room for a crazy woman. Just like how you can put all these different characters out there, why can't the women explore the characters? Guess what? In society, we can't say all women are crazy, but even some girls will tell you, well, there are crazy women out there that they can admit are crazy. Why couldn't Alicia Fox play that? And she plays that role in spades. So I'm like, fine. Plus, she got a new Crazy as a Fox, or Crazy Like a Fox shirt for the first time in like 10 years. You know, she has a shirt, which is pretty freaking amazing. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I didn't have a problem with that. You know, it was a nice little takeaway match there. Alicia comes up on the loss, tapping out to the bank statement, but she was throwing some bombs and stuff, and you can see Sasha look like her lip and everywhere was all busted up afterwards. She's over there wiping away the blood and stuff. You can see it all over her face. So Alicia would look like she was stiffing. You know, she was playing rough, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Then Sasha backstage with Robot Charlie, or you know, a couple of weeks ago, where she looked like Ivory from Right to Censor, you know, like a schoolmaid, you know, or she was on the Colonel Mayflower is backstage, and by godly gee willikers, this girl Charlie, and this is not being disrespectful to her, you know, she probably is a nice person, this or that, so on and so forth. It's just her lack of enthusiasm, her lack of energy. Like, she's just in constant Instagram posing mode. Like, I see the pictures a lot of these girls they take on the Instagram, and it's just like, okay, so now that you're here, let's see you try to be a little bit fluid, you know, let's see you, you know, smile, let's see you react to what the people are doing, instead of like, let me hold this professional sexy pose so much and ass stuff and barely move my lips and my face. Sasha, how was the match afterwards? Can I ask you all a question? Oh my goodness. Please, Dean, could you tell us, how was it like with the Shield? Like, it just, woo! I gotta bring it in. Like I said, she's probably a good person. It's just her interviewing style, you know. This girl is bland like certain people's cooking, you know what I'm saying? She's bland. But anyway, the good part was Alicia backstage beat up on Sasha, and it actually looked really good. I mean, I was like, okay, this is a nice backstage beatdown. This is kind of stuff we want to see more. We know these girls can get physical. We see the girls out there in Shimmer. We see them out there doing their thing, you know, on CZW. Let these girls fight. You know what I'm saying? So we know they can throw down. So I'm like, give them a little backstage part. Let them tussle a little. You know what I'm saying? Let them tussle. So I was like totally okay with that. You know. After that's over, then you come to find out later on the pre-show, they're gonna do Alicia versus Sasha on the pre-show. So most likely Sasha Banks is gonna go over on her. Not that Alicia Fox shouldn't, because she kind of needs it. Sasha is so established. This is fucking amazing, you know. So it's not like it wouldn't behoove WWE to allow Alicia to get this. You know what I'm saying? So now we got Enzo out here to talk some shit, per usual Enzo, and this is another gold microphone worker right here. Enzo, I definitely know he could go toe-to-toe with The Rock and some Cena on some stuff. Like, Enzo, I would really like to see go against Cena. Like, Enzo's the kind of guy that you have all seen. This guy does not stumble on his words. He knows how to make fun of some people. Same thing with John Cena. I would love to see them go back and forth. Because you know John Cena's going to hit with some fire. But then Enzo is probably like, man, I've been waiting to do this for years. And you know Enzo's going to hit with some fire too. So that Enzo Amore, he's got a lot of use. Despite that he can't wrestle at this or that. And that's subjective. Because think about this. Enzo Amore can wrestle better than 90% of the people out there on this damn planet. So Enzo Amore is more than serviceable. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't liking how his personality and stuff is going. But if he's going towards being a heel and he's going to be a schmuck and he's going to bring up ratings, that's what the name of the game is. Bring up the ratings, get the people in, respect for the cruiserweight division. You know what I'm saying? And I'm alright with that. So now we got Kalisto and his title out here, and I'm guessing maybe this is for Eddie Guerrero, as I've said in numerous videos. If there's a Spanish situation or a Russian or whichever to that particular country, somebody's going to get the belt or somebody's going to have to represent that, except for black relatedness. And maybe that's because we don't have people that represent a country for us, so WWE is like, we're not a demographic. No, and I'm looking at this just like from a statistical business standpoint, not even being rude or disrespectful with WWE. Like maybe it's because we don't really have a certain country, like, oh, we do it for Mexico. I mean, do you really doing it for Africa? You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's because we're not that big of a demographic that they feel like, well, who's going to really care if we have a black champion? You know what I'm saying? You know, so that could be that could definitely be possible in it. But there's a lot of times when you get people like Kalisto and they win the belt and it's into such an obvious way that I'm reading online, and you got white people like, oh look, guess what, they've just decided to give Kalisto the belt again because it's Eddie Guerrero's birthday, and then he doesn't even realize he has the belt. And I'm like, dang, Kalisto, he's over here like, at TLC I'm gonna win back the cruiserweight title from you. And you're like, Kalisto, did you just say at TLC you're gonna win back the cruiserweight title? The title that's around your waist? I know, Kalisto, that's what happens when plans change rapidly and you don't know what's going on. And this poor guy, Kalisto, bless his heart, the only person that I know that's not as good as Kalisto on the mic is probably Tamina. No, let her fix her jacket, you know what I'm saying? You know, and man, oh man, I tell you this. So then, Enzo, just he's got company with him. I believe it's Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, Noam Dar, pretty much all the bad guys. Now, I don't like typical situations where the WWE says, hey, you're a bad guy. Therefore, all you bad guys must congregate together. Just like all you good guys must congregate together. So they don't ever have them have differences of opinion. So it was just a week ago or 2 weeks ago where Enzo Amore was running down Drew Gulak and Noam Dar and Tony Nese and Ariel Daivari. So what would make them come to his aid all of a sudden? Is it because they don't like Kalisto coming in there and represent? Because last week when he was up in there, they were all cheering for him in that lumberjack match, right? So now it makes me wonder, so what happened here? Now, could they have maybe segued in or retconned in the fact that Enzo, he's making so much money that he just paid these dudes off? I would totally buy if WWE would have said Enzo is making money hand over fist, which he is with all the royalties and all of the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I would have bought it. They'd have been like, look, Enzo paid these people off. Okay. $1 Million Man style. It's paying people off. And like, or excuse me, like, Acolyte Protection Agency. They had people who would pay off people, you know, like if their APA was around, Enzo would have paid off Farouk and Bradshaw, and they would have, you know what I'm saying, would have been working for him. So that's a very, very believable situation. I just wish they would have addressed that. Yeah. So let's see, after that, we got the tag teams, you know what I'm saying, coming on out here, the tag team champions, freaking Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose coming out. And of course they got to come out to their music separately, because if the Shield is really the Shield, you know, if one person in the Shield is in the Shield and we're still the unit because we're now the Shield, why they all come out with their separate music? So the tag team champions are now the Shield, and they have their Shield vest on and all of that stuff. So it's not like they're wearing a separate, you know, Dean Ambrose has got his jacket on. No. But they just came out to their original music, which kind of killed the ambiance, which is more reasons why WWE, here's why a lot of us are fearful that you're just using this to get over Roman, and we're scared because you don't even have Dean and Seth come out to the Shield music unless Roman is involved. So he's like the key factor to it. So can't nothing happen unless it's going through Roman. Roman's in the middle. Roman's not around. No Shield music. No Shield reference. You know, and that's sad. You know, because when the Shield was a tag team last time, when it was Roman and Seth Rollins, right? Because remember, Dean Ambrose had the United States Championship. They would still come out to the Shield music. They'd still come out to the crowd, even if Dean wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? They would still do it. But this time, they're supposedly the Shield. They're reunited. They're back together. They're playing their music. And yet WWE decided that when it's Seth and Dean now, they don't get the music. But if Roman shows up, they get the music. It's just the little nuances, as they would say, the angel's in the details. And it's the devil that changes to the angel. The angel's in the detail. You know what I'm saying? So we got Curtis backstage killing it with these pep talks. You know, he's like, we gotta do this, we gotta stay strong, Cesaro and Sheamus, we can do this. And then he's like, I need this, man, I gotta be in this match. And then that's where it's funny, because Kurt's like, I don't got this opportunity, man, I need to be in this. And then Braun, and he's even talking to Braun like this, and the funny thing is Braun is selling it. He's like, you gotta do this, Braun, you can do this, I need you to do this, Braun, I need this, we need this. And Braun is he's like, man, and Braun was just looking at him like, okay. Didn't say nothing. I thought Braun was going to beat him up, you know. Nah, he's cool, he's rolling with it. And then Curtis is like, man, I could fight Roman Reigns right now. And he was like, you should do it. Because obviously Braun, if he wanted, he would just go looking for Roman. And we've seen it numerous times. Obviously, I could see Braun saying that, like, be a man and go fight Roman Reigns. Because Braun would legitimately do that shit with no hesitation, no qualms whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So, he was ready to do that exactly such. I had no problems with that. Alright, so he's like, look, check this out. Go find him. He's like, I'm not ready for it. He was like, man, real person, we would do it. You know what I'm saying? So they were pretty much like, stop making excuses and go look for him. So, they come back. You know what I'm saying? They tell him, we go freaking find Roman Reigns. They're like, okay. She's like, alright, see you. I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen here? Is he seriously gonna go off to find Roman Reigns? They're gonna send Curtis Axel. They go find Roman Reigns. Woo! Now we got this Finn Balor segment. So why is Bray Wyatt cross-dressing? And WWE thought they were gonna be slick on me by promoting Halloween through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Finn Balor colors is usually orange, but now they all black. I mean, they're red and black, so that's all black and orange, and his face is all their morph. And they're like, haha, I can't wait to make my face look like this so I can sell the new Mattel action figures. Marketing. Okay, if we can do marketing and we're so smart and geniuses and all that, how come we can't do marketing while still making the product sell and then the ratings go up because people are interested in that and they could be like, wow, we really want to tune into this all the time, you know? And we'll buy products too. I'm like, there has to be a way in which you can successfully do both, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this business, I don't know if it can just hang on the balance being carried by supposed fair weather fans or casual fans that are tuning in. Like you're basing your show around like, how do we draw in casual people and we need all the extra stuff, rather than going, how do we just get the people who are loyal to just continue to be loyal and then just sell stuff to them and they'll just buy it. You know, at least we know that we don't have to sit here and go, let's flip-flop around the show because people are they're going to be interested in this hour, and then as the third hour comes in, we know that viewership tends to drop off, so we'll put all our stuff here, and then, you know, we'll put our eggs in a basket during this hour and not so much during this hour. Because you can tell the show gets booked based upon what's going on TV, and that's so sad that WWE does not dictate its own pace based around itself, but its pace dictates around what shows and stuff is going on, not like what society issues is going on. That would make sense. WWE works around society issues. Okay, sure, but they'll work around TV shows. Looks like this TV show is getting ratings. Rather than just make our show better, let's just move this to this, or let's just try to get a ratings pop for this week instead of no carryover. So people are like, oh yeah, you know that New York game that's coming on next week, right? Forget that shit. I'm going to focus on wrestling because the last 3 weeks have been so good. Not like they just made it good for 1 week just to get me to not watch the game, and then the next week sucks. So now I'm like, forget them. I'm going to stay focused on the Giants game. WWE is not doing consistency very, very well. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what happened with that segment. We're gonna have cross-dressing Sister Abigail. I wish it was a real person. I really do, but it's even going. Sister Abigail versus Finn Balor. And we know it can't be no girl versus Finn Balor, so it's gonna be cross-dressing Bray Wyatt. And this is what they've done to poor Bray. You know, this boy, as they say, how have the mighty fallen? I think that's how the phrase goes. Oh my, how have the mighty fallen? Look at poor Bray Wyatt. Now he's been reduced to a cross-dresser, you know, with the voice box, and they're like, that's going to sell. WWE, somebody in the back said, hey, let's make Bray Wyatt a cross-dresser. Get him a voice box, change his voice up, and he'll be Sister Abigail to combat the demon. He'll channel his inner Medea, or he'll channel his inner Mrs. Doubtfire. Whoa! And motherfuckers thought that, yo, this is gonna pop. This is gonna spike the ratings, yo. They're gonna be happy when the WWE crowd sees this cross-dressing Sister Abigail. They're gonna lose their mind with happiness. It's like, is that what's going on in the boardroom meetings? They're gonna love this cross-dressingness. Yes. No. Then we got Alexa and Emma versus Mickey and Bailey. And you know, I like me some Mickey and Bailey. I really like Mickie James. Now I don't know if maybe they would just scale back on the makeup, because sometimes these girls I've noticed, especially Alexa Bliss, I can definitely tell, and that comes from having a best friend of 12 years who specializes in doing makeup all the time. So when you see that all the time, like that level of professional makeup, so you tend to tell like, oh, somebody's wearing more of this, or somebody's wearing more of that, or more of this, or etc. etc. And I notice Alexa tends to it's like doll herself up, and Mickie James was not wearing as much the eye stuff, you know. And I'm like, oh, look at you. I'd like that you are or maybe the makeup, maybe she told him to tone it down because she wants to embrace her age, and not so much let's concealer it up and all of this other stuff, you know, and tone it in and whatnot. So I was like, I like, basically what I'm trying to say is I enjoyed seeing Mickie James look a little more mature than usual. There are a lot of us men now. Alexa Bliss is saying some shit that even there's a lot of women out there that know. Come on, Alexa, let's keep it real here. You talking about nobody wants to see her old ass. Mickie is only 36 years old. That woman is only 36. That is a hot piece of ass, and I said it just like that. Oh my goodness, he's objectifying the women. I go to wrestling events with actual girls who look at Roman Reigns and they then turn to me and go, oh my God, if I could just touch him, I would lick him all over. I'm like, you lick Roman Reigns all over? The things you see on these Reddit comments towards Roman Reigns, especially Finn Balor. Whoo! I know of some girls in the wrestling forum that I partake in, right? They're writing erotica for the Shield. Not the Shield screwing with other girls, which is like, okay, you know, this is the Shield here. You know, they're going backstage and they triple power bombing girls. If they was writing that, that's not my take on it, but if they were in the forums writing that, no, these girls was writing erotica for the Shield within themselves and other people. There was a Shield erotica with the Wyatt family. And these girls were in there going crazy. They were trying to draw up stuff to it. Okay? So when they talk about dudes, oh, you're looking at the girls this and you're looking at the girls that, I go to the events live and I hear so many women whistling for Randy Orton, whistling for freaking John Cena, etc., etc. So I'm like, this is 2017 here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is objectifying everybody. Even if you go, oh my goodness, woman, let this dude pull off his shirt and he got some abs, you're gonna look. Let this girl pull off her shirt and she has some nice sized breasts, you're gonna look. That doesn't mean you gotta ogle, that doesn't mean you gotta be disrespectful, but you're gonna notice it. We're freaking human beings. Let's get over it and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Alright, Mickie James looked hella good. Amazingly good. Now that biscuit ass, oh, she got a flat ass. Oh my goodness, that Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss always looks good, you know what I'm saying? Always looks good, cute and petite. Emma just looks delectable as usual, but as I was saying here, they all pale in comparison to Mickie James, because a lot of us guys know that age is nothing but a number. So when she's coming out here trying to make it seem like Mickie James is 50, 60 and all of this, well, like, she's younger than Stephanie McMahon. And look how good Stephanie McMahon looks. See what I'm saying? So Alexa, I'm not even really buying the whole old this, the old that. You know, in fact, all it's done is make Mickie James step it up more And it's brought more attention to her because a lot more people, now that they realize that Mickie James is older and she looks like that and she is one of the best women on that roster, it's bringing even more attention. Like, damn, she does look that good. She's that old and looks that good? Shit, look at her. Okay. So, I'm digging it. You know what I'm saying? So, moving on past that, you know what I'm saying? Mickie James gets the Mick kick on Alexa, pins the champ, clean. Now, per WWE booking, per the same booking we've been using in all our videos to predict most of these matches, per their formulaicness that's been going on forever, if you win on the go-home show, you usually lose on the pay-per-view. So Mickie James going over on Alexa Bliss most likely means that she's going to lose. Could WWE just change things at the last minute like everything else? Plans change, you know what I'm saying? Of course, very, very possible. But usually, per 90% the way that WWE goes, you know what I'm saying? Mickie James is going to lose to Alexa, and it would be nice to see her get that 7-time win. You know, Mickie James is putting a lot of hard work. Give that to her, you know, especially if Austin's going to go on this incredible winning streak here. So Curtis Axel backstage in what it looks like it could be a good segment. I mean, this is looking really good. He's about to walk up to the Shield, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, WWE, you got something going on here. And right as he goes to walk up, you know, it looks like he's about to fight him, or at least try to fight him as best as Curtis Axel could freaking do. They cut to a commercial. And it was that planned commercial, like, oh, so that's what y'all gonna do, WWE. Y'all gonna do something here that's not going to involve them fighting, because if it was gonna be a fight, you would have showed it. So what is this gonna be? Some kind of dramatic situation that's gonna have a setup to it. So that's why you went away too fast. That wasn't a regulated commercial break. That was just like, go to commercial. And I'm like, all right, because you know darn well, why would you want to go to commercial as he's going to do this? Do you think that that's good for ratings? Do you think that, hey, look, as this guy, let's leave him on a cliffhanger? I'm telling you, this is 2017 with all that usualness that they would use for TV, you know, cliffhangers and this, to where people can get stuff instantly. Nobody wants to have time to sit around and wait for, you know, here's the action. Oh, we need to go to this commercial really quick to try to, let's see, psychologically get them to feel this way or that way, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's a guinea pig, you know? So yeah, that kind of bothered me. It cut to a commercial for 5 minutes, so rather than it showing us, it just fizzled away what the action could have been there. And then it came back from the commercial. Here was the kicker, and you know this was somebody in their ear. They come back from the commercial, so you know all of us are like, oh shit, what happened with Curtis? This is what we remember, and no mention of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. So I'm guessing. So I was like, nobody even gonna. What happened to Curtis? Holy crap! Now they have to take Miz has to come into the locker room asking where's brother Axel at, and they were like, we sent him off to go up. Oh, he went looking for Roman Reigns in the Shield. And you know Miz wants to just say something so badly, like, you fucking idiots, you let him do what? And then he looks over there and he sees Braun Strowman, Sheamus, and Cesaro. He's like, he just, okay. So then he goes on to try to go and look for him. You know what I'm saying? So we got Robot Charlie just popping up backstage like they're, cue the Charlie. You know, like you can see her, she's walking, you know what I'm saying? She's walking, here's Bailey. Here comes Charlie. I've got a rather boring question to ask you. Could you please stop and answer this question for me? I greatly appreciate that. Yeah. She's got Bailey and Mickey backstage, and like I've said, Charlie is in permanent Instagram mode. She can't just stop posing. I can't do anything much more than this, and I can't make any facial expressions other than a sly smile. And after the interview is over, cameramen awkwardly stare at me as I just look off at these people in amazement. Don't you just love how they always do this after every segment? They never just go back. Now back to you guys and the announce team. Back to you, Cole. Okay, this is how they end the segment. Camera zoom in. And they're just staring off like, wow, I've never seen that athlete like that before. And all in amazement. My God. Just little things, man. WWE. So we got the Shield freaking hung Axel upside down. And they're all like, who did this? Did anybody see this? Who did this? Who the hell do you think did this? Roman Reigns in the Shield. Or excuse me, Roman Reigns and Co. did this, you know what I'm saying? So the Shield, they hang axles upside down, and you got people asking who did it. Then we go to a commercial, because, you know, you can never have too many commercials on an action-packed television show. After that, we got the piece de resistance. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. And, you know, they got good chemistry, so you know they were going to come in here and they were going to give it a good match. You know, it was as good as it could be. The whole time I'm thinking, and a lot of us are thinking, you can see the tweets and you can see the Instagram and all of that stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? So, you got people like, oh man, how's Roman going to win this? 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 You know? So, you know, the good back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Until eventually Cesaro and Sheamus, they make their way out there, and as Roman is climbing out, and we think that he's going to win because Braun Strowman is, you know, he's doing whatever he's doing in the ring. They come on out there. Rules be damned, because Kurt did say, you two are banned from the backside. I mean, excuse me, or banned from ringside, so you got to stay to the back. So Cesaro and Sheamus, and, you know, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. But as I had said to you, why do they need to stay to the back? What kind of ramifications for their actions? What is Kurt going to do? Like he said, well, if you come out there, then what? There was nothing. It's not like he said, if you come out, then you can't be in the match this Sunday. All he said was, if anybody interferes in that match, they won't have their title opportunity. Well, Sheamus and Cesaro lost theirs, so they didn't really care. That was a moot point for them. And then Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns are actually in the match. Catch that? So Kurt Angle legitimately made no ramifications for if anyone entered the match tonight. Cesaro and Sheamus being intelligent, at least Cesaro obviously being highly intelligent, you know, piecing that shit together. And if Cesaro didn't do it, you know damn well the Miz knew it and was just like, wait a minute, Kurt didn't set up no shit here. So if we run in, I mean, we just run in. Bada bing, bada boom. That's what happened. Dean and Seth come out, you know. Then you had the, you know, you can hear the music. The Kane 2017 updated. Kane comes out of the ring. And that wasn't even a surprise. So Kane comes out now. I'm like, all right. We got Kane coming back because WWE thinks this is 1997, you know, in Hell in a Cell, and he's going to come in through here. Okay. Fantastic. All right. But there was like fireworks and shit. So I was like, okay. So Kane's got pyro. That's a first. We haven't seen pyro in how long? Brock Lesnar don't even get pyro. Kane got pyro. So that tells you right there they wanted to make it extra special. And y'all can say, you know, this situation or that situation with Kane, we don't like him. Can't nobody say that they predicted or knew it was coming. You know what I'm saying? We was like, all right, who could be this person? Who could be this person? You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew it was going to be Mayor Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Isaac Yankem DDS. You know what I'm saying? A.k.a. Fake Diesel. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody knew that that Glenn Jacobs was coming on up in there, you know. But sure enough, he was in there with a nice surprise. And pretty much that's how Raw goes off. You know, Kane doing it, the bada bing, bada boom. You know, they tombstone him, they choke slam him. They tombstone Roman Reigns, they choke slam him, they choke slam him, they choke slam him, they power slam him. Basically, you know, you pretty much have to kill Roman in order to pin him for some odd reason. You know, he seems to be the most durable dude. I don't know why he's the most durable dude. I'm not sure how Roman seems to defy storyline logic, but somehow Roman negates the laws of storyline physics, storyline logic, storyline continuity, storylines being retconned. He's like Deadpool for some reason. He just goes beyond, does what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey baby girl, rules don't apply to me. Like, okay, my bad. Roman Reigns, probably Vince McMahon's son for all I know. But yeah, that's what happens there. That's how the show goes off. You know, it goes on off with Daniel Bryan, with freaking Kane, because Daniel Bryan and Kane, you know what I'm saying, the beginning of the tag team champs. It goes on off with freaking Kane standing tall with Braun Strowman, making them look like they're going to be tag team champions. So I mean, it could be a plethora of reasons why. A lot of people are saying that Kane came back because, you know, what the Undertaker, you know, happened with Undertaker, he's mad at Roman Reigns. That could be one. Or the fact that I think the Shield's first Survival Series match was with Randy Orton, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. And they beat them badly, and it was at TLC. I remember it. It was TLC, and it was a table. As I remember, Dean Ambrose was jumping through the tables and stuff, and then they had to carry poor Seth Rollins away afterwards. But yeah, so it could be that maybe he wants a retribution because Kane has fought the Shield quite a bit of times with Daniel Bryan and then a different partner. You know what I'm saying? So that could be it too, or it could also be, pissed off at what Roman Reigns did to his brother. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much Monday Night Raw per usual. The show gets a 5.5 or 6 for me, and I'm not picky to the show. Like if I was sitting here talking to some executives, they would hear my opinion, and then no one would have to be like, "Well, you're just picking with the show." No, I feel like one, you use commercials too much. Two, you rely on the crutch of recaps entirely too much. Three, you're dependent on fair weather fans so much that the overall product is starting to get watered down, and you're kind of losing what brought you to the game. Wrestling, and the entertainment value is rather hit or miss, because entertainment is so subjective. What's entertainment to me is not going to be entertainment to you. And the problem with WWE is they're trying to entertain everyone. And guess what? My mom and a lot of women say you can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? WWE can't please everybody, so shouldn't they worry about pleasing their core constituents that are going to take care of them, that are going to nourish them? So instead of going, well, if we do this and this, we'll increase our sales by 5%, but we may lose a certain amount of fans, but we'll always get peak sales going up, but our fans will steadily go down. Now you can only ride that wave but so much before you're going to have to give some consistentness. And if this show is anything going to be like SmackDown, which I'm going to be talking about, I mean, come on here, you know what I'm saying? So WWE, you got to get it together, and by get it together, at least I have an idea or a situation. Less commercials, or what do we have to do so that we can get better pacing of the commercials? You know what I'm saying? So that way we come back from a commercial, because I've noticed this. WWE, you come back from a commercial and they're like, great, we're ready for it. 15 minutes, and remember, check my videos. I make sure I time a lot of this stuff so that I can see what's going on here. 15 seconds into that, after you come back from the commercial, you then go to another commercial. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this, why I get so pissed off. These aren't like the commercials from back in the day, where they had nice jingles, where they were well thought out, where they were put together, because they knew we were dealing with a different kind of clientele, so we actually had to make things stick in people's head. Now commercials, they're just stupid. They're dumb. They don't make sense. And they're just like, product. And nobody's telling you that the product is this, the product's that. Heck, commercials are so bad. We got products for Valtrex and stuff that's just like, do you know your loved ones suffer from this, and you need such and such, where the side effects include death, suicidal thoughts, bleeding all over, internalness, but your life will be slightly better. I'm like, man, the commercials, that's what breaks the flow of our WWE wrestling experience. That, and as we know, the more commercials you have, the more likely a person is to change the channel. That's why TV channels, networks, to get around all of this stuff, they don't no longer go to commercials at opposite times. So they try to all go to a commercial at the same time, because they know that, okay, he's going to turn to another channel here, and that's what's happening. People are you're breaking the immersion with the WWE and all these commercials. If it's entertainment, you're breaking that entertainment barrier that's coming in there, you know what I'm saying, to bring us back to reality with terrible commercials, you know what I'm saying. So that's another thing that I have clearly noticed. Better management of your time as well, WWE. You spend a lot of time thinking that we as the wrestling fans don't have the memory that the good Lord blessed us with to be able to remember a segment from last week, or that we don't have YouTube, or that you're not one of the largest channels on YouTube, and that we don't see your videos have millions upon millions of views. Some of your videos sometimes have more views than your actual Monday Night Raw episode, and you're like, let's recap it. I'm pretty sure enough people have seen it, and if you add up all the recaps throughout the show, sometimes, and I'm not even lying, by the time you have 6 5-minute recaps or 6 3-minute recaps, seriously, and there's commercials in between those, so if you just take 6 regular basic recaps, about 3 minutes, it's 18 minutes right there when you add in commercials. See, about 22 minutes of the show has gone just to recaps. That could have been a good match. That could have been a segment used to push some people over, i.e. cruiserweights. That could have been a segment for Nia Jax so she doesn't have to walk out. You know what I'm saying? And then it's I didn't talk about that in there earlier, but man, look at the wrestlers and the talent. You know, one of the first times I'm hearing so many wrestlers speak out about how they're not happy, how they're not thrilled. And I've said it time and time again, WWE, you hire me, you let me take my interpersonal skills, my ability to communicate with people, to get out any kind of situation, and feeling my ability to look into a person and understand them. Man, I can write up all kinds of psych profiles for these wrestlers. I can help you out understanding where they're coming from so that the writers can better craft stories that will fit with people, so that way they won't be going. Because you know, and I know, there are a lot of people out there on planet Earth who are better with a microphone, who are better memorizing things, and who are better at certain things than other people. That's just the way it is. So if I know that you have a gentleman who has a better memory than another gentleman, why are you trying to give the gentleman that you know doesn't have a good memory massive amounts of lines to try to memorize and knowing that he's going to fumble over them? Shouldn't you be trying to protect him and focus on what he's good at and hiding those bad attributes, or at least helping him to bring up those attributes as best as you can? You know, so sometimes I feel like they don't want to work with the wrestlers because they're too focused on their bottom line, and maybe a little bit of his egotisticalness. You know, WWE not having any direct competition. Well, you know, why get better if you feel like you don't need to? Why push yourself? It's like your brain. Why does the brain feel like it needs to use 100% of it if you never do anything in society that makes it feel like it needs to push yourself? So you're not pushing yourself. The body is like, I don't need to push yourself. You start exercising and whatnot, tearing muscle fibers and whatnot, you get bigger, you get stronger. You know what I'm saying? You start growing. And the WWE is not having anyone push you, so it's not getting bigger and stronger and growing. By WWE's idea of growing is going into a market, i.e. kind of like what America used to do back in the day, waving around a lot of money, taking it over, just saying it has it and not doing anything with it. So WWE likes to collect stuff and put it on the shelf just to say, we have all these Ring of Honor people, we have all these New Japan people, we have all these CZW people right here. You know, we have them. And then we at home we go, what are you doing with them? How are you utilizing them? Don't you worry about that. You should just be happy that the WWE even has these people in the first place. Like, the WWE is rather smug at times with how it presents itself. You know, it really does come off like, I'm privileged, this is mine, you'll like it, no matter what, there's no more fun, everything needs to be dictated, everything needs to be structured, everything needs to be rules, that nothing can happen organic, everything has to be planned out. That's why I'm like, whatever happened to spontaneity in the WWE where you feel like anything can happen? I don't feel like anything can happen. Because if anything could happen, and I'm going to bring this up again, if anything could happen, you wouldn't have 99.9% of the black people in there all playing the same character in the same role. So that clearly shows me that somebody's out of touch with what kind of character development we can have. Let's exclude black people for a moment. Let's look at the Mexican dudes, you know what I'm saying? They all kind of play the same role. Maybe it's because they all want them to be luchadors, but I'm like a lot like Kalisto. He's American born. Listen to how he sounds. Like, okay, he could do another role if he so chose to want to. Maybe they try to give him all these lines. It doesn't exactly work for Kalisto. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to do the Spanish thing or that, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. I would love to speak Japanese with Shinsuke Nakamura. That would be freaking crazy. Like, going up to that man, be like, Hajimasta, Shinsuke Nakamura, Namiwa, Akim. Woo! If I could just get into there and just like, I would like to cut a promo with him. Or if I could be Shinsuke's manager, I think that would be really, really, really freaking cool here. You know, like a mouthpiece for him, or just being a freaking manager in general. You know what I'm saying? To help a lot of the talent here. But yeah, going back to the Nia Jax situation and all the other wrestlers, you know, they're speaking out. You hear them on social media. They're frustrated. The people, they don't act like they know them. They don't act like they understand where they're coming from. You know, and that's sad, man. You know, we're gonna have a lot of wrestlers that are gonna get sad and get frustrated with their position, and they're gonna leave. You know, I don't want to see Nia Jax leave. As I've said, that is the most pulchritudinous woman I've ever seen on this planet. I think Nia Jax is amazing. She's incredible. She puts off a very, very awesome energy. She has a really good glow about her that I can tell just is very, very nice. She's a very nice, delicate flower, you know. Despite her size, I'm pretty sure maybe people don't see her like that because of her size, but that is such a delicate flower, you know. So I wish her the best and whatever she goes to do. All of that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I hope she comes back, you know, that this is just personal. I hope Neville comes back and all of that good stuff too. I hope Cody Rhodes, and you know he ain't coming back after what he said, that the vest was supposed to protect him from like drug tests or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like Cody and the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll, you know what I'm saying? And all of these guys, they not coming here and they ain't coming back, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much that. Like I said, Monday Night Raw, you know, those are some suggestions right here. Just to sum that up, because I know sometimes I get the so let's just sum that up. Please, if you can't do less commercials, you know, better commercial pacings. The one thing you do have control over is, how about not so much recaps? More emphasis on actual wrestling. I know you don't want to call these people wrestlers, but you do understand that your show is based around wrestling. Once again, the Super Bowl, you know, that's WrestleMania, obviously equivalent. They base it around the halftime and all of that. You know, you want to see the halftime show and commercials that one time, right? But for the remainder of the year, this football is football related. WWE will be wrestling, but doesn't really want to show wrestling. Wants to show recaps. It wants to try to be like everybody else. WWE, you have a special niche product. You don't need to be like everybody else. People will try to be like you. Let them mock you. Let them try to be like you. You don't try to be like them. You know what I'm saying? Your show is too awesome by itself. So just keep it with that. You know, I definitely want to see you do more with the women. I would like to see I'd like to see a little bit more change in their characters and stuff. Now I get that the women's revolution is here, and maybe it's me, but I don't kind of like the typical girl. Maybe that's why I like Nia Jax so much. I don't like the typical looking girl, and I notice all the girls there, they're like, I have to have long hair or long tracks, long weave, you know, and it's just like they still kind of have that the same. So I think that's kind of why I took a liking to Ruby Riott, you know, because she looks so different from the rest of them. And Bayley, why I like her so much. Those two aren't trying to shove sex appeal, because I see what's going on. They're like women's revolution, but we can still be like Alexa Bliss and we can look good and pretty too. And I'm like, okay, that's nice, you know. That's fine. I see women all the time. They're beautiful. But maybe right now I kind of want to see a different kind of character. Just like I was saying with a lot of the other wrestlers. I want to see some different characters. Roman Reigns, I want to see a different character. You know? So with the girls, I want to see something different. You know? I get that you're pretty. You want to show that you're pretty. Alright. But I'm not going to believe that every woman out there who wants to be a wrestler wants to focus on being pretty and wants to focus on if her makeup is good or if her hair is up or not. Right? Charlotte, fighter, focuses on pretty. Bayley, no. That's why I said she's excluded. Alexa Bliss, fighter, focuses on pretty. Same thing with Sasha, Alexa, Mickey. They all do. Other than like Bayley, Nikki Cross, right? Ruby Riott. This is 3 girls that you can name off the top of your head in the business that are just clearly not in tune with their look, but they're just more interested in the character. And you definitely can't mention no Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Them the girliest girls you got there. You see what I'm saying? So when you go to look at them, like, I don't know how too many that just, you know, that just focus on the just the personality. Maybe like a Dakota Kai, you know. That that, and I'm trying to go through the cruiserweight division. Okay, Kavita Deville. Obviously her ring attire and stuff, that's different. I like that. I'm like, okay, like you like the Indian wrestling garb. That's totally fine with me. I just want to see like different outfits and stuff, and just seeing that, because the girls can wrestle. They have personalities. I'm like, ooh, let's see their attitudes and stuff. Or like Mercedes Martinez. I'm like, okay, I can dig what she's wearing, and she just like with the girl. I'm like, okay, fighter style. I like that. I just want to see more of that on the roster. And please, give these women matches and not have to put them all in 6-man title matches, you know. But props for TLC, because it's going to have 3 matches on the card, you know. Even though it's a TLC, it's going to have 3 matches. Sasha, Mickie James. Oh, I'm sorry. Sasha versus Alicia Fox. Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. And Asuka versus Emma. So, 3 lady matches on the card. But the sad thing is that, you know, I'm good with predicting the time for these shows. 3-hour pay-per-view match. So let's see. Alicia Fox and Sasha will most likely be about 3 to 4 minutes. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss will most likely be maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And Asuka, as much as we want her to have a competitive match, is it the right thing for her to have a competitive match on her first go-in? So that's probably going to be maybe a 3-minute match. So altogether, 12 minutes worth of women wrestling in a 3-hour pay-per-view. See what I'm saying? That's the problem that I have, because when you dissect it and you break it down, you know, you're going to ask yourself, why is this being done? Well, because of promo, commercial, and, you know, Roman Reigns and Shield focus and stuff. It's a 3-hour show. You know you've got time for these ladies. We know we do. Okay? Now, whether you choose to want to adhere to that and acknowledge that, that remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, all in all, Monday Night Raw, I can see someone's trying to do something here. So I can't say, you know, people are like, I want to kill myself and what. I've never understood that. I watch Monday Night Raw. I've seen a lot of terrible shows out there on TV. I've never could say that the TV show gave me AIDS and made me want to kill myself, maybe want to blow out my brains. But I ain't over here talking about, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. WWE can do no wrong. But I ain't about to kill myself over no freaking wrestling. I value my life and I like myself a little bit too much for me to want to drink some bleach because Monday Night Raw was shitty per usual, or excuse me, or was not written right per usual, or was rushed along like a rushed production per usual, or was filled with logic gaps and plot hole inconsistencies per usual. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. So that's my review of Monday Night Raw from the ever so glorious and ever so splendiferous Brother Akiharho. And y'all gotta stay tuned, because I'm gonna be bringing y'all that SmackDown review, and you're gonna get your ear full of this again, definitely, because I'm definitely be letting you know, WWE, what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. But unlike a lot of people, I try to be fair about it. I try to break it down, you know what I'm saying, and try to look at it from a business standpoint, you know, from a corporate standpoint. But then also you got to step back and look at it from the fan standpoint, and then somehow you have to try to meet in the middle, you know. But you have to acknowledge your shortcomings, just like the fans have got to acknowledge their shortcomings and their expectations. WWE has got to acknowledge their shortcomings and their expectations as well, and we got to come together and have a meeting of the minds. And as I've said, and I'll say it again, I love talking about this. I'm going to forever be talking about this. I enjoyed it. Now, I've been writing articles like this since on MySpace, and I can't even find any of those articles. And, you know, and if I wouldn't have been trying to put theme music and all of that stuff into my older videos, I would have a ton of them from 3-4 years ago. Like, I just enjoy this. More people need to talk about it. As I've said, there's no ESPN Sports Center. There's no place like this officially for people. So all we got to do is let the WWE know how passionate we are about this, and let them know what we expect from them. You know, they tell us what they expect. Hey, we expect you to tune in. Hey, we expect you to buy merchandise. Hey, we expect you to fill up the seats, which obviously people ain't doing. You know, they're letting them know. So they have their expectations of us as the fans. So we have expectations of them as the people who are producing the product to give us the best product that we can possibly get. You know what I'm saying? So that is all for today. I'll be talking to y'all later. You know what I'm saying? So, ciao, sexy mofos.